Hey guys, welcome back to the wrestling show. We're keeping it real. Goes right. Welcome back to Real Take Wrestle Talk. I'm your host, Omer, and I am joined, as always, by the king of strong style, young Trev, the sauce god. What's up, Trevor?
What's going on, Omar? How's everything, man?
It's good, man. It's good. I'm just chilling, trying to get by with this quarantine, and just doing me, just doing me.
Absolutely, same here.
Yep, and speaking of doing me, if you guys want to do me a favor, you guys can hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released.
We like
Now,
chicken.
big facts. Um, but today we got a great show planned for you. We're going to be talking about the big news from wrestling, including AEW Revolution. We're going to be previewing all the big matchups for that. We're also going to be talking about Bobby Lashley, the Almighty, has won the WWE Championship, the ramifications this will have throughout the wrestling world, as well as other news. But before we begin, as always, remember, like, share, subscribe. All right, let's get it started. So, Trevor, this is something that you and I actually talked about a little bit offline this week, and that is Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, aka Apollo Crews Senior, won the WWE Championship after defeating The Miz on Monday Night Raw. The Almighty Bobby Lashley this is gonna be his first reign for the 44-year-old, and his win was met with praised by almost everybody in the wrestling world, it seems. You saw a lot of people on Twitter, wrestling fans from both the toxic AEW and toxic WWE branches of Twitter, all coming together and saying, hey, we like this Bobby Lashley. We like this specific Bobby Lashley with MVP and everyone around him. So, Trev, what did you think when you saw that the almighty Bobby Lashley had won a WWE championship?
So honestly, I'm like about time. I mean, he's held other belts. Like I know he held the Intercontinental, and I swear back in the day he held one too. I want to say USA, one of the two. But I mean, as great as this was just for him, I mean, if you want to talk about political, racial, I mean, it as far as African American community, it was great. Like it was one of those things that like you wanted to happen a long time ago. But I honestly believe this Bobby Lashley is the best Bobby Lashley to held that belt. Um, after he went had a stint in TNA, he held the belt over there as well. After he left WWE, he also did some MMA. He's been to a couple of different promotions. I honestly believe the Bobby Lashley that we saw back in the early mid 2000s was too much of a face to honestly be believable as a champion.
Right. Yeah, no, dude, I totally feel that. And the thing I've always said about Bobby Lashley is Bobby Lashley should be a Brock Lesnar type of character. Like Brock Lesnar, he's just a monster. He shows up and he destroys people, and then he has like Lesnar has Paul Heyman as his mouthpiece. MVP is one of the best promos in wrestling history. Like by
Oh,
far the
absolutely,
most
absolutely.
underrated. Like he cut some of his best promos in TNA when he was part of the what was the name of it? The Beatdown Clan, the Beatdown,
Yeah,
the BDC, yo BDC back in TNA, and like the stuff that he was doing, the stuff that they were doing, and the promos that they were doing was some of the best in professional wrestling, and a lot of that obviously because he was in TNA got underlooked. But
right.
my point is, you got a guy who is a bona fide monster, who looks like he can destroy you in real life, can definitely destroy you in real life because he's done MMA, he has that legitimacy, he used to do wrestling back in college, and he's just a bona fide monster. And that's someone who you can win if you can make money with on top, and not just do that, but you can also have win the title in the way he did and hold it for a long time, build him up to be a big monster and that's how you build pay-per-views, that's how you build storylines, that's how you eventually get a face over. The old Bobby Lashley back in the day when it was just him. It was just him. It didn't look right, it didn't feel right. It felt a lot like I was saying Roman Reigns from back in
Right,
2015.
right.
That's what it felt like to me. Like he was just getting forced down our throat, and while ECW champion Vince McMahon was one of the greatest things that ever happened in professional wrestling. I live and die by that. But
You have said this multiple times this week.
so I believe it. I believe it. Bring back Vince. Dude, bald Vince was amazing. Crazy bald Vince. But look, I think that Bobby Lashley though in this character it works. Fans love it. There's really no downside to it because the only downside I could see is them potentially like him dropping the belt at the next pay-per-view because I think they have one more pay-per-view. I don't know. They have like 7 pay-per-views before WrestleMania now. Like I don't know, but I think they do.
Typically, back in the day, it was like one pay-per-view, and then like the entirety of March, they did nothing, and then April.
Rex Lane, a roadblock, roadkill, for big balls of fire. Yeah.
Oh my God, big balls of fire. And who's naming these things? But
Vince. That was a Vince thing because he liked the song when he was little, so he was like, "We're gonna do big balls of fire."
But one thing that I will say that I the only downside I will say to this title reign, and not taking anything away from Bobby because I think Bobby is deserved this. I think Bobby, like you said, he's worked his ass off. Bobby is one of the best wrestlers in WWE at the moment, talent wise and everything, and accolades wise and everything else. But most people will say, and I might get criticism for this, that Miz is one of the better. He's one of the best heels I've seen, and I think it's kind of a tragedy that they cut it down is the way they did because I mean Miz isn't a bad wrestler. WWE has so many wrestlers that they don't push the way they should, and Miz is one of them.
Right.
And I honestly loved his gimmick from day one, the chick magnet, and when I'm awesome. I love that. Yeah, I love that. But am I happier to see Bobby as a champion? Yes, but I would have liked to see Miz be champion a lot longer than he was.
I mean, yeah. So I actually have a feeling. I have feelings about this because a lot of people were saying that. And here's the thing for me: if this was like Miz from 2016, like right after he cut that promo on Bryan, I don't know if you remember that there was like a talking smack segment where he cut this like really impassioned promo on Daniel Bryan saying that I'm here every day. How dare you call me a coward? You're the coward because you know you can't wrestle anymore and you know you can't do anything to me. And like if it was that Miz, if it was that dick heel Miz, if it was the Miz that went into that championship or that WrestleMania match with John Cena in 2017, I believe, the one where they did that Total Bella bullshit thing.
Oh, that shit! Yeah. Oh, that was amazing. By the way,
if it was that Miz, I would be like, yes, give him the title because at that point it made sense. He had heat on him. You know, it would. I think fans one way or another would have reacted better. This to me, it kind of fell flat the way he won the title because the months leading up to this, Miz as the Money in the Bank winner has been a joke. Like him and Morrison have kind of been a joke, and
yeah,
and like my thing is like it's just like again this is I think WWE just kind of booking themselves into a problem because they tend to do this a lot where it's like, oh yeah, we'll just put the Money in the Bank. We're not going to give it to Otis. We'll put the Money in the Bank on Miz, and then they proceed to make Miz look like crap for the next like 6 months, and then they're like, oh god damn it, we got to get rid of this Money in the Bank, and they just and like they hop to the belt, which is fine. I think look, Miz as a champion I think served his purpose because if your purpose was to build to a match at WrestleMania with McIntyre and Lashley or Strowman and Lashley, if that was the end goal and you didn't want to hurt McIntyre, then that like in that transition, that's fine. I understand that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, but honestly, I think Miz's career has been hindered with John Morrison. Honestly, I mean, I love them together at first, but I just think honestly, John Morrison and Miz don't have the chemistry like they used to. I mean, they're first off, it's two polar opposites. Like before, you thought they were very cohesive. Like, have you seen them in a match recently? It doesn't look as cohesive as it used to. Like, Morrison went to Lucha Underground and became this Lucha style wrestler, which he already kind of was in anyway, but it just doesn't complement Miz's style. And if anyone could tell me what Miz's style is, I would listen to it. I'm here to listen. But I mean, but I honestly think that's a hindrance for Miz. I really do.
I agree. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, Bobby Lashley gets a chance to have a great title match. It's been a while since we've seen him at a big time match at WrestleMania. The last time was that Donald Trump shave your head match that is canceled. Hashtag cancel. Cancel Donald Trump. Which I'm all for. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think anyone cares at this point.
But yeah, no. We'll see what happens with that. Good, big ups to Bobby Lashley. We love to see it. Now, another thing that was in the news this week was one Pat McAfee. You might know him from the Pat McAfee show live every day on YouTube. You also might know him from NXT. He's been making some appearances on NXT. Had a big match with Adam Cole at one of the takeovers last year. And there's been reports that Cody Rhodes has been putting out saying that Pat McAfee is, quote, asking him for a job every other day and begging him for a job at AEW. And Pat McAfee went on to his show and denied these claims and said that he is contemplating retirement from wrestling. But, where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, look, this could be Cody Rhodes obviously just, like, putting this out there just to say that he can make it look good, and he knows how to work. And these are things you look for in especially in a celebrity. And he's got the following, over 1 million people subscribe to him on YouTube. He's a big deal, and I think that there is a possibility because AEW. One thing we know about Tony Khan and these guys, they're willing to spend the money. They're willing to spend the money. They're willing to go out there and get these guys. But Trevor, what would Pat McAfee in AEW mean, do you think, for that?
So let's go back a bit. So the Pat McAfee Adam Cole match was amazing. First off, a lot of people will probably disagree. I thought it was a great match. So I was curious. I did some digging. Pat McAfee has wrestled before. Wasn't his first venture in the wrestling business. He has done some indie wrestling years prior, and he's actually at this point a legit wrestler. In AEW, for what I've seen, for what the product that they put out to me, they take either unknown wrestlers that are known on the indie circuit or known in like New Japan or got places like that, and they give them a career. Like, I mean, let's be honest, like the Varsity City Blondes, like a lot of people don't look down upon that team. You have Brian Pillman Jr. and Garrison. Like, those are names that you need to know, and they do well with them. I honestly think Pat McAfee will definitely do well in AEW, but they have to push because I mean right now they have a great title push with Darby Allin, so I'm not sure they're gonna take the belt off him yet. And I mean they're doing. I mean honestly, like love him or hate him, Kenny Omega's doing well with the belt. They need one more belt, honestly. They just need one more belt. So they can give it to guys like Pat McAfee, guys like honestly, I can't think of names. I'm stupid. But like they have so much talent that they can put belts on. They need to, have another belt for them.
I think so. So I think I see where you're going with that, and the question of like adding more belts or the question of like having celebrities hold belts. That's something that pisses off a lot of wrestling fans, right? Because you don't want to see like a repetition of David Arquette. That's what everyone's scared of. But yeah. I think one thing that we've learned is if you do it right and if you do it with the right person, it can work. And Pat McAfee, I think, is a good example of a choice where it could work because he's got the chops. He can talk. Like, that's not a problem. Pat McAfee can cut a promo. He does it literally every day as a radio host, and he loves wrestling too. He's been watching wrestling ever since he was little. So I don't doubt that Pat McAfee can come in and work a match and do the promos either. My thing is, I don't think necessarily they need to make another title because AEW has done a good thing that WWE's to this day has not. They have been able to make these like battle royals and these tournaments and you know these random prize matches, right? You know, with the AEW Dynamite ring, right? They've been able to make these mean something. Whereas in WWE, you have things like the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Oh, I won it. Oh, what do I get? You get to, you know, hoist this trophy and take a picture until we take it back to Stamford, Connecticut. It's like, oh, and you get to be on the WrestleMania pre-show. God damn it, it's so great. No, but you know, in AEW, it's different. Like the ladder matches that we're going to talk about and the battle royals we're going to talk about, they mean something. You're going to get a title shot at some point with the Dynamite Diamond Ring. MJF has won it 2 years in a row. He's talking about it all the time, and it means something. And you know, and I think so. Like, I think there's always going to be, I think that kind of thing for Pat McAfee would be fine if he decides to be even like wrestle on a consistent basis. And I think his role, though, to be honest, would probably be more of like, you know, he would probably be more of just like a manager and like maybe a one-time, like every pay-per-view maybe he'll come up and do like a match, or you know, a special show he'll work a match, because let's be real, he doesn't really need to work for his fans to tune in. And I think that's part of it too. So we'll see. I'm excited about it.
I mean, I'm definitely excited. Like you said, he already has a fan base, so that's almost perfect. But honestly, going to AEW from NXT isn't a step down, honestly. Even though NXT is one of the only promotions in WWE that the Dusty Cup means something. You know what I mean? The Dusty Cup is your door, your stair step into going against the tag team champions. Like, so, and this year they just did the female Dusty Cup as well. So, like, he's doing the right thing by going to the right promotion. Now, what AEW would possibly do with him, we don't know. But like you said, I'm very excited about it.
As am I. And if you haven't already, as always, remember to subscribe, like, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Sorry, a little technical difficulty there, but we fixed it. Let's talk about some.
While we don't have subscribers.
Yeah, hey, we're trying here. We're trying to produce quality products here. All right, Trevor, let's get to it. AEW Revolution is this Sunday, March 7th, 8 p.m. live on pay-per-view, BR Live, and Fight TV, and God knows where else. But it's everywhere. Big matches, a monster card. I read through the card earlier today, and I was like, holy shit. Like, AEW 2021 best show of the year last year. This is shaping up to be an insane show, and I can't wait to talk about it, man.
Oh, it is. It definitely is. And you missed one place that's going to be shown as Cinemark, movie theaters. You can go to movie and see. Yeah, like my buddy just told me earlier that he asked me if I want to go, but I have to be an adult and work. That sucks. Yeah, dude, they are really marketing this as to be their version of WrestleMania. And I mean, honestly, they're competing with WrestleMania. I mean, yeah, WrestleMania doesn't start until April, but this is their only pay-per-view until then. And I mean, and I kind of like the way they do the pay-per-views. They don't do the pay-per-views every month. They do it like maybe every 3 months, every 4 months. Like it really depends on what they do.
Yeah, they're kind of following like the 1980s, 1990s WWF model, where it's like the Hulkamania, right, where it's like 4 big pay-per-views a year, and they have like these like special dynamites, right? Like they had Winter is Coming, Fighter Fest, you know, and a bunch of big shows like that weren't pay-per-views, but you could see them, and it actually accomplishes a lot because it gets people to watch the product more. And you know, I think with NXT moving to Tuesday nights, like it's just gonna make those bigger shows even bigger. So you know, we'll see. And again, we love AEW and their 4 pay-per-views a year, because God, like the 25 the WWE have is just ungodly. Like, come on, you can't expect.
You're being generous.
Like I can't keep up with that.
30.
That's the thing. They expect me to keep up with it. I'm just like I can't. Like stop. Like
especially when you have names like you mentioned earlier, Great Falls of Fire. Like, come on, like, like it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. Like at this point, it kind of feels like you're just like trying to milk the product, and which they are trying to milk the product to get more money. But like pure wrestling, like, and there are some WWE purists, which God bless you. But SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. I mean, what else you need? Like, that's what it was. Survivor Series. That's what it was.
Well, I mean, Survivor Series now is just nothing, dude.
No, it doesn't mean the same at all.
Oh my god, like Survivor Series is just like that's one. It's like sad how like low it's fallen because it's literally just bragging rights. That's all it is.
That's all it is. That's all it is. I mean, and I like the fact that they have two brands, but like so my first wrestling show was Survivor Series 8. And it was, if anyone's familiar with it, it was when King Mabel, who was also Viscera, sat on Undertaker's face, and he hadn't been seen for weeks or whatever. And so it was the reappearance of Undertaker. It was one of the first times that you saw Goldust since WrestleMania. There was Shawn Michaels' return to wrestling because he was hurt, and he was teaming with Ahmed Johnson with one of the Survivor Team matches, you know, the 6-man. And then you had Bret Hart versus, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it was Diesel. For the,
I think it was.
So it was a great show, and it was back in all my DMV fans. It was back in the old USA Arena. So and that was the last wrestling pay-per-view to be at USA Arena. So it was a big thing, and Survivor Series meant something. Like, I got a pair of Bret Hart's sunglasses. He gave them to me. Like, it was like, for all the wrestling fans growing up, especially in this area, it meant something.
Right.
But Survivor Series doesn't mean it. Honestly, WrestleMania doesn't mean as much as it did either.
You know, it's funny you bring that up because like for me, it was like the genesis of like me becoming a wrestling fan was like I would say like the first like big show I remembered, because my family like would watch wrestling, right? But like I was like young, I didn't really pay attention to it. I just kind of like watched it because my brother was watching it, right? But like one of the things, like the shows that got me into wrestling like big time was Survivor Series 2003. Which was like that was like Vince versus Taker in a buried live match, and then that amazing match with, I think it was Stone Cold and Eric Bischoff. Like they had their teams going at it, and the loser had to retire, and Shawn Michaels had that like great run in the end. And like so like for me, Survivor Series is a pay-per-view that like has a lot of meaning to me myself as well. So I'm like really excited. Like, you know, I was used to be very excited about it, but now it's unfortunately just a waste of time. That's all it is, because it doesn't even have anything to do with the regular storyline. But
it's just like you said, it's kind of like vamping for like a comedian or a host. You know what I mean? They're just really just taking up space, you know, taking your money at this point.
Right.
Like it doesn't mean as much to me.
Big facts. But you know what does mean a lot? AEW Revolution this Sunday. Let's go through some of the undercard matches. First up, we have Miro and Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford taking on the Best Friends. Obviously, the Best Friends have had their fair share of problems with Miro, and this included a wedding of Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford that was crashed, Miro's game getting broken, but Orange Cassidy and I believe Chuck Taylor are going to be taking on Miro and Kip Sabian. So, Trevor, break it down for me. Miro's making his AEW in-ring debut. What are we planning to see from here?
So, Miro's making his in-ring debut on a pay-per-view. He's had a couple squash matches, you know, Dynamite, things like that. Didn't really make a difference. What's weird is, I honestly believe, as weird as it's going to sound, because Kip Sabian's style is just fucking out of nowhere, because he's not really a high flyer. He's not really a technical wrestler. And honestly, and anyone that have seen Kip Sabian wrestle,
he kind of reminds me of The Miz in that way.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because like like I said earlier, like you really don't know Miz's style. But Kip Saban has a very good what's the word? A very good grip of the mic. He can talk very well. He has a great personality. I think honestly all of that helps him be a good wrestler. Rusev, as I remember him called, I thought WWE again did not use his talent to the his best of his ability. And honestly, I think AEW gave him that the power to be who he is. I think it's going to be a very interesting match. I actually personally like the Best Friends. I don't. I won't say I don't like their gimmick, but because honestly, it works for them. I think they're very underrated as a tag team as well. So I think this is going to be a very good match. But my question is, will I see an orange punch at any time during this match?
I mean, on Kip maybe, but definitely not on Miro. Miro's gonna.
Oh no, Miro is not having it. No,
like I think we all know how this match is gonna end up with Miro pinning whoever, whether it's Orange Cassidy or Chuck Taylor. But
I honestly think they're gonna win. But I think it's if it's the Best Friends that I know of, it's gonna be a good match.
My best friend. Hashtag my best friends. All right. Let's moving on. The Casino Tag Team Battle Royal. Again, we were talking about this earlier. Everything in AEW means something. So there's a Tag Team Battle Royal. Last team standing wins over the top rope. Basic Battle Royale, rules. It's going to be, and get ready for this, is a long one, Bear Country versus Alex Reynolds and John Silver of the Dark Order versus Evil Uno and Stu Grayson of the Dark Order versus Alan Angels and Preston Vance of the Dark Order versus Santana and Ortiz versus Butcher and Blade versus Private Party versus Top Flight versus Pac and Ray Phoenix versus the Varsity Blondes and Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. versus the Seidel brothers. Didn't even know Matt Seidel had a brother. Versus
most of them didn't.
SoCal Uncensored versus Dustin and QT Marshall versus Chaos Project versus the Gun Club. If I missed someone, I'm sorry. You definitely were not important enough to make that list, but
I mean, honestly.
But yeah, look, I mean, Casino Battle Royale, again, winner of this match gets a championship title match against whoever's going to be the World Tag Team Championships after that night. So it's got ramifications, and it's over the top rope. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, and then like the different like scenarios that could play out with partnerships and whatnot. So, what are you looking from this match, Trev?
So, you know what? I'm looking for. I think it's going to be a great match. First off, like AEW, we talked last week about how WWE has dropped the ball when it comes to tag teams. I believe AEW has found the formula and is working it well. And honestly, there aren't too many bad tag teams on this list. Honestly, I think it's kind of interesting and a little funny that
Gun Club.
Yeah, I think it's a little funny and also very interesting that Dark Order has so many teams on this list. And to be honest with you, if I was a betting man, Alex Reynolds and John Silver, I honestly love them as a tag team. John Silver reminds me of a very tiny what's his name? Scott Steiner.
Ooh, really?
Just because of the not is the move set, because actually, honestly, he is out of this.
Did you just say Scott Steiner has a move set?
You're right.
This is it. This is it. He's like,
everyone watching, I'm sorry. I lied.
Yo, he will really. This is his finishing move. You know that, right? He'll sit on you and just do this. It's like wait for the count.
So funny side note: when you play with him on a wrestling game, his special move was a suplex. It doesn't matter what suplex it was. It was either a suplex or a Frankenstein. It didn't matter what it was. He didn't have a moveset.
Dude, Brock Lesnar, you got copyright fees to pay, pal. You got some royalties to pay there, pal. Good old Scott Steiner.
But no, Silver reminds me of him only because of the and also Buff Bagwell, the way he comes down to the ring, his bravado, everything. But I think he's a better worker than both of those
I
guys.
I would hope he's a better worker than Buff Bagwell. But
A shoe might be a better worker than Buff Bagwell.
we love Buff Bagwell. I love them. I love the idea of Buff Bagwell in the '90s. I didn't like to see him, but I like the idea of him, if that makes sense. But look, this match, I'm excited for it. I think the winner is actually going to be Pac and Ray Phoenix. And I because
Okay.
here's the thing. Well, Pac is in this weird situation, right, where he's a main event level guy. Like if we're being honest, he's a main event level
Yeah,
guy.
definitely.
I don't think he's lost. He hasn't lost a lot since he's been in AEW, and obviously he took a lot of last year off because of COVID, and he was in England and he couldn't get here. So I think they're looking to push him, and I would hope so. They're looking to push him a little bit, and I think the way you do that is put him in the tag team title picture. Because you can't put him in the world title picture because Kenny Omega, I think they're doing something with Omega and possibly Hangman Adam Page down the line. But right now it's Omega and Mox. But I mean, the Dynamite, the TNT title they've got their own thing. I think this is probably a good spot for him because he can kind of lead that team potentially with a title run or whatever it is. And I think it would highlight him a little more. So I'm excited to see potentially Pac and Ray Phoenix win. If not, the Varsity Blondes, don't count them out, man. Brian Pillman Jr. has got like adrenaline running through his veins like nobody knows, bro. He's the son of the man who had the single greatest line in professional wrestling history on live TV. When Pillman, when Austin 316 meets Pillman 9mm Glock, I swear, side note, I watched that like years after, obviously, because I wasn't alive when that happened, but I watched it and like for the first time, and I was like, yo, like this is wild. Like Brian Pillman, there's a reason they called him the loose cannon, and he deserved his name. So, Varsity Blondes, I'm always rooting for him.
One of his best names was the Ticking Time Bomb, and he actually really was. But don't count them out, and also don't count Private Party.
Oh yeah.
Or Top Flight. So Private Party has been pushed a lot because of Matt Hardy's influence, and Top Flight has been pushed a lot here recently, especially with their feud with God damn it, Camera. Sorry.
That's good. That's good. Live TV, pal.
Yeah, exactly.
Goddamn,
we're all
pal.
good now. We're all good. We're all good. But no, so also with Top Flight's feud with Jericho and MJF. So depending on which way they go with the tag team titles, you could see some interesting teams win.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's gonna be fun. Let's go to our next match, which is the Women's Championship match. Hikaru Shida will defend her AEW Women's World Championship against the winner of the World Title Eliminator, who was Ryu Mizunami of New Japan. And this, I think this is a very underrated match because Rio is if you saw a lot of what she was doing in the Eliminator, she was honestly a little bit of an underdog for me. I didn't really see her.
I was actually surprised that she won.
Yeah, I was surprised too, but I'm excited because this is the thing. They have I think this is a match that could potentially steal the show. And at a time where AEW, I've been talked about it before. Their women's division has not been built up in the way it probably should be. I think this is a match that could change that because Shida has basically been carrying the women's division for the past 6-8 months, whatever it's been, and I think this is a match that's set up, I think, for both of these women to show them what the women's division is capable of, and give it that boost it kind of needs, as far as kind of getting over on the card and stealing the show.
I totally agree. I mean, like you said, this is not who I thought was going to win at all. I thought they had potential with Britt Baker, like we talked last week. I thought the other girl that Britt Baker lost to, she had potential as well. It was so many women, in this particular in this contest that could have won. But this one is also interesting to me because I know 2004 doesn't mean really young, but her career is somewhat young. She started in 2004. She's wrestled all over the place. She's been in Big Japan. She's been in pro wrestling. Like she's done she's been a Shimmer. She's been a champion, tag team. You know, and she's done it all in this short stint. So I honestly believe this is going to be a great match. Like, and plus, her and Shida have history. They were tag team champions. They played competed in tag team together. And the Allin, the first pay per view, they won tag team together. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So I mean, they know each other. So this should be interesting.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm hoping it is, and I'm gonna be watching. And dude, like again, like if you've ever seen real work, like this is like she can go. She can go.
Yeah.
Shida obviously can go, and I think this is a good matchup to kind of display the wrestling, and I think they can kind of tell a match or a story in the match that hasn't really been told in previous women's wrestling matches in AEW, which again we talked about
in the May Fighter as well.
Oh yeah, exactly. So she's got that legitimacy as well. So big facts. We're hoping to see good things from that match. Obviously, I'm going to be watching Dynamite or Revolution this Sunday, 8 p.m.
Super stiff though. That match is going to be one of the stiffest matches possible.
Big
like
facts.
You're going to see a lot of both of them take shots that most women won't.
Huge factoids. All right, let's talk about the first championship match of the night. Oh, sorry, the second championship match that we're going to talk about is the World Tag Team Championships. This match, in what is turned into a blood feud with the Young Bucks, who will be and the MJF and Chris Jericho. The Young Bucks are going to be defending the World Tag Team Championships against the two members of the Inner Circle. And over the past few weeks, we've seen MJF and Chris Jericho go to abnormal lengths to prove to the Young Bucks how serious they are about winning these titles. As you can see right here, they beat up and bloodied Papa Buck, making things very personable. At the go-home show, the Bucks got into a big schmoz with the Inner Circle and cut a passion promo about how much their father means to them and how MJF and Chris Jericho made this personal and crossed a line. And Trevor, we've talked about MJF and how great he is. And I think this is a match where we're going to hopefully see, I think, the chemistry with Jericho and MJF kind of come together. So what are you looking for in this tag team title match?
First and foremost, let's just give a shout out to the fact that Chris Jericho can put over anyone. Like,
literally.
He definitely can. Now, I like MJF. I liked MJF when I first saw MJF. But the main reason he is as over as he is because of his tag team partner, Chris Jericho. And MJ and that team together is honestly, I didn't like it at first because I really liked Sammy Guevara and Jericho at first. I mean, I thought they complemented each other very well. But this tag team out of the Inner Circle is probably one of the best besides Ortiz and Santana. And I mean, I love this Chris Jericho. This grimy, I'm better than everyone. Fuck that. I'll do what it takes. Chris Jericho has always been my favorite Chris Jericho, even from his early days in WCW. Like I love this Chris Jericho. I think this is going to be probably I think this might be one of the most underrated matches because a lot of people think Jericho's past his prime. He's supporting a dad bod. Hey, dad bod's the end. Leave him alone. But he's still probably one of pro wrestling's goats. He is.
Yeah.
He definitely is. What he's done is never been done. And then you have the Young Bucks, who, again, like we talked about last week, from backyard wrestling to now. There've only been a few wrestlers that have done that transition like they've done, and they're one of them, and they've done it very well.
Yeah, man, I agree. And look, these two right here, just together, magic money right there. Like that Absolutely. Is money. Like this, Absolutely. Everything they've done together is money. And I think making this feud personal, it gave it that extra oomph that it needed. Because you could have just had MJF and Jericho go out there and cut promos and be entertaining and be themselves. But they also showed a little bit of grit. They showed a little bit of fire in both MJ. I think MJF especially kind of needed this, because we've seen him cut promos and like, it's personal, great. But him like literally beating up Papa Buck and then them doing that, I think made this look even more better, and it made MJF look like a threat more so than usual, because usually he's just, he's talented. We all knew that, but he is kind of just like a smart ass little jerk, right? But now he has like the thing, like, I'm willing to go to lengths that you didn't even think I was. Like, he's literally the biggest dick in pro wrestling, and it's amazing for the product. Like, this is the man at the Brody Lee Memorial Show. At the Brody Lee Memorial Show, he ripped off -1 Brody Lee's son's mask, like in front of him, just days after his dad passed away, and obviously they had that cleared, and it was like beforehand, like everyone knew that was gonna happen, right? But
right.
But dude, for him to like do that, like he's perfect. He's the perfect heel to build this company around, and this is going a long way to doing that. And I'm excited for the match too, because like these boys can work. This is if there's potential to have a 5-star match, this is got right up there, and it's just one of like 10 amazing matches on the show. Like literally all of these matches that we're gonna talk about like could just like be 5-star matches. This is an amazing card.
You're absolutely right. The card is very, very long. It's so many names in this card. But like you said, MJF he is the most satisfying asshole I've seen on wrestling in a long time. Like, but he has old school tones. He reminds me, certain parts of him remind me of Mr. Perfect. But a huge part of him reminds me of the model Rick Martel. Like that, the way he stomps around and just walks around. The whole "I'm better than you and you know it." Like, come on, like it. I just love that persona. Like, I mean, honestly, he took what the Miz is doing right now and added 1,000 to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he definitely did.
Yeah, and he is obviously like one of the best young people in wrestling, and like for me, and like when I'm thinking about the future of AEW and the future of wrestling, like for me, I've always from the beginning, and like it's kind of apt that this happened in the beginning. Like if we're talking about like the heel and the face that I think are gonna define AEW for like the next decade, and the heel is obviously MJF, but for me, the face. And this might be a surprise to some people, I think it's Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Like, he's obviously hasn't been highlighted as much as MJF, but I think it's because he's like growing. He's still like, he's still like being primed for that position. But don't sleep on Jungle Boy Jack. He was there from the beginning. The dude knows what he's doing. He obviously knows professional wrestling, and he's being built up as this like awesome face. Like, that's what he is. And I think give him like a year or two, he's gonna be in that position where he's like, oh wow, Jungle Boy Jack's having like great matches with everybody, So I think with him, it's just he's gonna catch up a little bit with experience. But MJF and Jungle Boy Jack is like the match, like let's say like All Out, like 2023. I think like that's gonna be like this generation's like Rock Austin kind of feud, or like or Hart Michaels kind of thing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna be like the feud that defines this era, because it all started at that first All Out pay-per-view back in 2019, because those two were at each other's throats then when Bret Hart came out and introduced the new title. And so I think that's what it could be. And I'm just excited. I'm excited to see AEW grow, because like the thing that, again, I'm a simp apparently for AEW. I got that lot in the comments. I don't know. I got destroyed in the comments last week on that.
Oh, really?
On the Bray Wyatt video we did. Like, these
AEW. I didn't check all that out. No.
They were like, these AEW marks. They all did. Like, I was like, yo, watch 5 seconds into the video. I was like, yo, the Fiend is like the greatest gimmick in pro wrestling. Like, but it just got like just watch the video for 5 seconds before you make up your mind. But hey, it is what it is. I don't get paid by Tony Khan. I wish I did. If look, like I would sell out in a heartbeat. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I do this for free. I would sell out to Tony Khan in a heartbeat. Tony, if you're listening, assalamu alaikum, my Muslim brother. But yeah, we'll see what happens with those two. I'm excited to see it. Great match. Tag team titles too on the line. It could. We'll see how it affects with whoever wins that battle royale. That's also going to take place that night. So
I'm actually surprised Jurassic Express is not in that tag team.
I think they might have a match on the pre-show though. We'll see.
It might.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. AEW is claiming that they are going to be signing a quote Hall of Fame level talent. So for those who don't know, Paul White, aka The Big Show, made his AEW debut this past week on Dynamite, claiming that at Revolution he will announce AEW's newest signing, and he claimed it to be a Hall of Fame level talent. Tony Khan also talked about this on the AEW Unrestricted podcast, claiming this will not be the same person that's going to be competing in the ladder match. So like they have that Joker's card who's going to come into that ladder match. We don't know who it is yet. It's not going to be that person. It's going to be another signing. So another big name. In the interview, I do want to say this. Tony Khan did say that it was a he. Like he said he a lot. So I'm assuming it's a male. But again, we don't know. But speculation. And then I'll let you get into this, Trevor. Speculation has said a few names could be involved. Kurt Angle is one of the names being thrown out there. His contract ran out with WWE earlier this year. Zelina Vega, been in the news a lot in professional wrestling lately. She had a departure with WWE. Another name that was thrown out there and obviously gets thrown around every time this happens is CM Punk. And CM Punk, he's always like, I would come back for the right feud and a shit ton of money. He said that in the past before, so we'll see. But one name that I think is likely, and I could see, given that the New Japan door has been open, is Kazuchika Okada, which has also been talked about, and we could see that happen. But a lot of speculation. We don't know who it's going to be. Obviously, Big Show's going to tell us. But Trev, why don't you tell us about who you might want to see and who it might be?
So another name that was thrown around was Brock Lesnar. I honestly do not want to see Brock Lesnar in AEW. And I don't care about you fans that say the comment what I'm about to say. Brock Lesnar is the laziest fucking champion I've ever seen in my life. Like, if you really want good product out of something that's already good, you have a champion that is willing to perform every pay-per-view or is willing to perform here and there on Monday nights or whenever your show is scheduled. Brock Lesnar was champion for let's just throw a random number out there, like 200 some days. Brock Lesnar, how many times did Brock Lesnar defend that belt? 20 times.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, I get you've done UFC. I get you had health issues. But honestly, I don't think Brock is good for pro wrestling. Now, I tell you who I originally thought, and I mentioned this to you earlier, but I believe he has too much heat, and I would not call him necessarily Hall of Fame type level of talent, but Marty Scurll. Marty Scurll, I thought would have been a interesting name to put in there. He has too much heat recently with all the things that he's been doing and saying. Because Marty Scurll says what he wants and doesn't give a fuck who he offends.
Yeah.
But Kurt Angle also recently, like you mentioned, he is upset the way he retired. He wants to make a fight. So there are so many names right now. I mean, shit, Sting is in a match on this very card we're talking about. So, I mean, there are a couple of names that are out there. Zelina Vega, I don't think will be one. Not this particular time. But I believe you will see her on the AEW roster soon.
I think so too. See, for me, the Marty Scurll thing, obviously, I think they're kind of AEW is smart enough to know when to stay away from someone.
Exactly.
And I don't see them making that move. Like, it would be, obviously, like, all those issues aside, like, we're not condoning or saying anything about his what he's being accused of and whatnot. But, Scurll would be a big get. But I keep coming back to, like you mentioned Brock Lesnar. So let's actually talk about Lesnar for a second. So Lesnar in AEW, I think it wouldn't work for two big reasons. One is the money, and like the amount of money you would have to pay Brock Lesnar to not just leave WWE but go to AEW. And think about the things that are involved in that. Like it's like Lesnar for first of all would want to go to AEW, be like, I'll go to this rinky dink promotion, right? Because that's what he probably perceives as a rinky dink promotion. And two, it would it's this thing where Vince is not going to let Lesnar take an offer with AEW without matching it. No, that's one guy Vince will he'll spend $10 million to make sure Lesnar doesn't go anywhere, right? So he will. So I mean, I don't see that being it, and also I just don't know where Lesnar would fit into the card because you need to put the belt on him. Obviously, he's Brock Lesnar, and then at that point, what does it do to your other plans? Because you can't just have him wrestle Luchasaurus and beat Luchasaurus in 5 seconds every week. When he wrestles, it has to be big time. So Brock Lesnar would be a name. He might do a one and done, but I don't see him signing a long-term contract, which is I think what they're alluding to. But I think Okada. I'm thinking there is a chance here to bring Kazuchika Okada to the United States. Kazuchika Okada in New Japan, biggest star in Japan. One of the biggest stars in the history of Japan. I legitimately believe he's the best Japanese wrestler since Antonio Inoki, the biggest Japanese wrestler since Antonio Inoki. So
watch what you say, sir.
Oh, I know. Look. Hear me out though. No, I'm talking about in Japan as the main guy in New Japan. They're just then the dominance that he's had for as long as he's had. There just hasn't been that guy since Antonio Inoki, and that's what I'm trying to get at. But we'll save that debate for another day.
I totally agree with you, but I was partially joking, of course. But I say that because we got all that heat off Bray Wyatt. You know how much heat you about to get off this shit?
I mean, dude, as long as I get those views, that's all I care about.
He loves Tony Khan. He thinks Bray Wyatt is great. Get this guy off the screen.
He disagrees. I'm gonna tweet about this. You're so powerful on Twitter, Marks. Look, but I do think that I do think Okada could be a name. CM Punk. I'm not gonna rule it out.
For it, though, but I don't know if he's really ready. I mean, he talks so much shit. I don't know if he's really ready to come back to wrestling.
I mean, look. He's always said that it would have to be the perfect scenario, the perfect feud for him to come back to, and it would have to be obviously money would have to be right, and I don't think AEW has a problem with money, but it's look the way they're playing it up. I think it's it's a more of a chance than usual that it could be Punk being the surprise guy. So it could be, but again, here's the thing. It's one of those things, though. It's I don't know who it would be. I legitimately don't know because if it's Kurt Angle, I don't think they would make Kurt Angle. Love Kurt Angle. I don't know if they'd make such a pomp and circumstance about Kurt Angle and do this because I feel it's a bit of a letdown if we're being honest. If this ends up being Kurt Angle, it's a bit of a letdown because. Look, we love Kurt Angle, but he's the dude's near 50. His body is broken down, and we want to see Kurt Angle be alive for the next and 20, 30 whatever years. And so I don't want to So again, I would like to see Kurt Angle in some capacity in AEW. I think he would be a great coach or whatever, but I don't know if this is that position to bring him in. But we'll see. I guess on Sunday, we'll see.
I mean, in a company where Tully Blanchard wrestled. And Tully has.
God bless Tully. He worked. He
worked. He worked for that.
He worked, bro.
And don't get me wrong, Tully has. And I was very surprised. Tully still has gas in the tank. He really does. But in a promotion where Tully is wrestling, Sting, 60 is wrestling. It's not too far-fetched to see Kurt Angle. But, like you said, I'm pushing more for CM Punk, honestly. If any scenario, I think CM Punk could do this. And honestly, if Kenny Omega wins the belt, Kenny Omega CM Punk, could you imagine that?
That's dude, that would be an amazing feud. That would be I'm get CM Punk, Tony. Do it. Make it happen. Let's do it. I'm excited. Like, look, either way, I'm excited. It's making me more interested in the pay-per-view, and it's a sign that AEW is doing their job. Let's see what they do.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Moving on, let's talk about it. The Face of AEW ladder match. So this is going to be a ladder match kind of similar to the whole, I think they had a casino ladder match and then the casino battle royale. So it's going to be similar to that. It's going to be Cody Rhodes versus Scorpio Sky versus Penta El Zero Miedo versus, I probably butchered that, versus Lance Archer versus Max Caster and an opponent to be determined. So that's going to be that Joker card. Winner of the match receives an AEW TNT title match somewhere down the line. So this match, again, is a match that has ramifications and actually means something. Oh my God, they're not just putting two people in a feud together for no reason. It's like, oh, I'm going to wrestle them.
Listen to this. Vince McMahon, this is a message to you.
Take notes, old man. Take notes. But I'm excited. These ladder matches, casino matches, they always end up being like entertaining, great, kind of like a little bit of a Royal Rumble feel, like. So I'm excited. The TNT title means something to me as well. It's not like the Intercontinental title, which is like, who has it now? Who's the Intercontinental champion again?
Good question. I really don't know.
If you can't name who has it, it's probably not. I think it might be, or he might be. Yeah, I think it might be big. Okay, who cares? But look, face of AEW ladder match gonna be interesting because you have Cody Rhodes, obviously former TNT champion. He could potentially win and win his title back or try to get a chance get his title back. I think it's unlikely it's Cody. I think he's just kind of in this match because he's always perennially in the TNT title picture, kind of by default because he can't wrestle for the heavyweight title anymore. But three names that are on my mind for this, and I want to hear what you have to say after this. But Scorpio Sky, I think, is one name that I would like to see get a chance in a big time match to get a title shot. Lance Archer, obviously, it's a shame that AEW doesn't have, because Lance Archer's great and what they're doing now is great, but it's a shame he hasn't been fitted more into the world title or the TNT title picture more often, because Lance Archer, I think he's doing the best work of his career. And Penta, man, Penta is the wild card in this for me. I think he has high ceiling and he can wrestle probably someone like Darby and do it in a very entertaining style. But Trev, face of AEW ladder match, who do you think is gonna win? What are you thinking?
It's that wild card, man. I'm still wondering who that could possibly be. Could it be a wrestler that's already in the company, or could it be someone new they're adding to? I just don't know. But with the names that I know, Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk, like you said, it's a shame he hasn't had gold yet. I mean, yes, it's been a very, very early stint in his career, and I'm sure he will have gold at some point. I mean, you can't have Roberts in your corner and not have it done. You know what I mean? He wouldn't put his name on someone that wouldn't be a champion.
Right.
Penta, of course. I agree with you. I don't think Cody's going to get it. I don't. I just don't think, because Cody at this point is more in his managerial career and is more of his his CEO type thing. He doesn't need a belt to be relevant. Yeah,
it's weird how his career has kind of paralleled his dad's career now. Because Dusty for a while, Dusty Rhodes could still go, obviously, in the 90s, but in the 90s he kind of took that managerial role. He would come out and wrestle a little bit, but and I think Cody's kind of Cody's obviously going to wrestle more often, I think, because he just has the ability. He's young enough, and I think with Cody though, it's for me, I think there's going to end up being a time where he does, I think, go and win a world championship. I don't think it's going to be soon in AEW, but obviously, they're gonna find a way to finagle out of it, and I think that's the thing they're gonna build up to. So Cody can always just wrestle a match and have it be headline because it's Cody Rhodes. I think that's the thing. He himself is the draw. He's the guy. So I think that's gonna be interesting. But this is an opportunity for them to build someone and build them right. I think Penta and Scorpio are the two people that could be helped the most by this match. Caster too, depending on who that wild card is. But like for me, I think Scorpio Sky is a name to watch out for because like this guy, like he's part of SCU, but he's shown his chops. He's shown that he can go out there, wrestle Chris Jericho, have like have great matches with anyone on the show. So, him potentially facing off against Darby or whoever for the AEW TNT Championship, that could be big for me. And I would love to see him as champion. I think he deserves it too.
I think Scorpio does. I think he's deserved it for a while now. Like you said, like his skills. He's great on the mic. He has great promo skills. He has great ring skills. And he's one of those guys too that can almost sell anybody. Just like Chris Jericho, like I was saying earlier. He's a great. I would love to see Scorpio Sky in that type of position. But what I just thought about when we were talking about this, another person that just showed his face on Dynamite, Sean Spears. Like he could.
There we go.
In this match, and not saying he's going to be, but he could potentially be in this match. So that could be interesting too.
Yeah, and like actually, you just mentioned that. Like it's weird because Sean Spears was also like one of the. He's like an AEW original kind of guy. Like he was one of like his storyline with Rhodes was one of the big ones going into the first All Out. And like a big part of that company kind of, they didn't have TV at the time. So a big part of that build to that show, him hitting Cody Rhodes with the chair is like an iconic moment in wrestling. And I think Spears, like that's such a really good name. Like I didn't even like think about that. I think he could, if he comes in and wins, like this could be like his chance to kind of take that, and then maybe he could do something with Cody down the line too, and they could have a little bit of a thing. Who knows? Look, possibilities are endless, and I'm excited for all of them. That's the best part about this show.
I think Sean Spears has big plans. You know what? Call me what you want. I love this card. I can't
About
wait.
The seventh time we've said it, dude. We're just gonna keep saying it. The card's just awesome. Like
it's good. It's really good. Like I said, like I told you earlier, like I said in the show, it's like a WrestleMania style card. It really is. Like it's competing, and you can tell.
Dude, if they had this in like the Jacksonville Jaguars stadium, like the actual stadium, they could probably like sell out like
absolutely.
At 25% capacity. Like whatever they're working with the COVID rules. Like they could, like this is like a great show that they're about to do.
It really is. It's even like you said, the lower card matches. They're just
Yeah.
Good.
All right, let's move on to the next match we're going to talk about, and that is the debut of the Icon. The Icon Sting will make his in-ring debut for AEW at Revolution, teaming with Darby Allin to take on Ricky Starks and Brian Cage of Team Taz. So, we've seen the vigilante, or not the vigilante anymore, thank God. The Icon Sting and his very mysterious snow machine make appearances at AEW Dynamite over the past few weeks. He has aligned himself with Darby Allin, obviously. Him and Team Taz have been going back and forth. Taz has been cutting some amazing promos. And this match, again, another one I'm excited for greatly. So, take me through, Trevor. What do you expect going into it? What do you expect to see out of Sting? And what do you expect the result to be?
I'm actually very interested to see what Sting has left in the tank, honestly. Like I mentioned earlier, a 60-year-old man in the ring, giving his all. Let's see what he can do. I honestly, the clip you show right now of him doing the Scorpio Death Drop, at first he kind of looked like he was lost. I'm be honest with you. He kind of looked like he was out of his element to a degree, but Cage sold it well, and and after a while he looked comfortable. But I don't think you're gonna see what the fans expect they're gonna see. I think this is all he's gonna help sell Darby Allin. I think that's pretty much what this is about. Because honestly, let's be honest, Brian Cage, neither one of them can sell anybody. I mean, I don't think Brian Cage is that bad, but I just don't think him with Team. I like the whole Team Taz thing, but I don't like Ricky Starks at all. I like his in-ring ability, and there were a couple people on YouTube. I forget exactly what page it was. But they said they felt that Ricky Starks had the mic skills, could have the potentially have the mic skills of The Rock. And I'm like, wait a minute, what are you seeing that I'm seeing? Now I'm not seeing. Like, I think Ricky Stark stumbles over his words every time he gets on a mic. Like, I don't think he honestly is that type of talent.
Yeah.
Now, in the ring, maybe, but no, not talking.
Yeah, no. So on the mic, for sure, no. I think one of the only people that kind of reminds me of The Rock on the mic nowadays would be Eli Drake or whoever. Well, I don't know what his name is in NXT now. Like, they renamed him, but
Drake Knight, I think that's his name now.
Sure. But no, like I think like, he kind of has a similar cadence, and like he doesn't obviously stumble on his words. But no, Ricky Starks, I think Ricky Starks is good. I think he's good. He's got potential to grow, and I think they all do, right?
Right.
But I think you were right in your assessment that this is a match meant to build up Darby Allin. He's the current reigning TNT champion. He's like, you know, the young guy. He's a guy that they want to potentially build the company around moving forward, and they are building around.
Right.
But I think what this has the ability to do, and like part of it is, you know, like bringing Sting in. It's not just, you know, oh, let's like give Sting a match. It's smart marketing, because what it allows you to do is allows you to get those potential Sting fans who are like, oh wow, Sting's wrestling? Like let me just see what's going on. You know, they'll tune in. And through that, you know, like Sting will kind of give Darby Allin a rub. He'll be able to give Ricky Starks and Brian Cage a rub. And I think it's going to be overall just like it's going to be an entertaining match. And I think it's going to serve its purpose. That's the whole thing. And I should say, though, this is also going to be a street fight. You know, and like everyone's at least curious to see what the hell a 60-year-old Sting is going to do in a street fight with someone who is more than half his age in Darby Allin and Ricky Starks. So I mean, look, like I said, I'm excited for it. My only concern, and like obviously the injury thing is like the concern you have with Sting, because let's be real. His like this isn't a thing like Daniel Bryan, right? Like, you know, Daniel Bryan, yeah, he had a history of concussions, and then he had to retire, and then he got cleared eventually. This isn't that same situation, because Sting is, like you said, 60-year-old man.
Yeah.
He had a bad neck injury. Like, this wasn't just like him getting hit in the head or breaking an arm or a hip. He had a neck injury, like a spinal neck injury, when he got dropped in a buckle bomb by Seth Rollins back in 2015, and he hasn't wrestled since. And, you know, doctors obviously said he shouldn't wrestle, and he's definitely gotten cleared. I'm not saying that Tony Khan didn't like do his due diligence or nothing like that, but at the same time, you have to be somewhat concerned about his health and the bumps he can't take and the bumps he should take, or like what have you. So that's a thing that like I'm also kind of concerned about, because look, Sting, like we can say like he can go right or not, or you still got it, but for me it's like I don't want to see one of my idols like or one of like, you know, someone I grew up rooting for and like interested in watch like get hurt, especially at this age. So I hope they do it safe. I'm sure they will, but you know, a street fight to me is just like, it gives me like that little extra cause of concern, because I've seen what AEW has done in the past in street fights, and you know, I'm just like, I get it, but at the same time, like, I don't know.
But it's one of those things, like you said, I thought the same way, but it's one of those things, like you said, I honestly don't think they're going to make him do too much out of his comfort zone. I think what you're going to see is a lot of Sting comfort level. You know what I mean? Like maybe some Irish whips into like a building or a car, things like that, like swinging a bat. I don't think you're going to see Stinger splashing people off like a 20-foot, you know, things like that. I don't think you're going to see it.
Yeah, if Sting does like a Matt Hardy bump from like, like off the scaffolding onto a table, that would
clean up on aisle 10. We need to clean up Sting.
Yeah, God, just like, oh God, clean up aisle Sting. Yeah, like we don't want to see that. We love Sting.
No, it should be a good one though. It should definitely be a good one. And
look,
honestly, I think Sting's presence there is going to push everybody involved.
It's Sting's first match in over 5 years. I'm gonna watch again. No, like ending every single segment on this show with I'm gonna watch.
Exactly.
Another match,
and then the fans are like, traitorous bastards.
Big facts. Another match that me being me, obviously, that is very excited to see. Actually, hold up. before I do that, let me give myself some time to change the graphics. So in the meantime, guys, if you haven't already, remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. I am buying time. Just give me a second. I have to do one more thing, and I will be back. And we don't make enough money to hire a producer, so I got to do it on my own. But look, hey, we're ready. Next, we're going to be talking about the money match, and that is going to be Hangman Adam Page going against Matt Hardy in a big money match where the winner will receive the loser's earnings from the first quarter of 2021. Adam Page and Matt Hardy have been going back and forth in the past few weeks. Matt Hardy tried to recruit him for his little Hardy brand that he's doing. He's tried to be his agent. And as you can see right here, they've gotten very close. But
too close.
But Matt Hardy made this thing on the line. So winner gets the loser's earnings for the first quarter of 2021. A lot of money for Hangman Adam Page to potentially get because Hardy's got this, like, he's got all his deals, his side deals, like, and selling merch like a madman. So it's gonna be interesting to see. And obviously, again, even like when there's not a title on the line, there's something on the line here. Like that's like this. It's just easy. Like they made it so, they make it look so easy. Honestly, just making these things mean something. But anyway, this is gonna be great match, Trevor. What do you think? What do you foresee? What do you want to say?
Well, first off, I love Adam Page. I think Adam Page is one of the most underutilized wrestlers in AEW, if that makes any sense, because they use almost everybody. I honestly think the match with Matt Hardy will actually help his career a lot. And I know that says, I know a lot of people will be like, what are you talking about? Well, yeah, because Matt Hardy can barely walk down the steps, but he can still wrestle. He can still wrestle. He still has that, that veteran mentality, that veteran talent. I think this is going to help Adam Page a lot. And also, I think this might set up, which is something that I want to happen, and I'm sure a lot of other fans do, Adam Page's ascension into the Dark Order. So let's just cross our fingers and hope that that's where it goes. It's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be. It's funny you say that though, because I have a theory, and just bear with me on this.
Okay.
But I have a theory about this because we've seen Adam Page throughout the year. He's been kind of distanced himself from right. Kenny Omega, the Elite, everyone, and he's kind of made this mini alliance with the Dark Order. Obviously, he rejected their pleas to join, but I think there's a case to be made for this scenario. And that is that at Revolution, the Dark Order comes out to even the odds against like the Private Party, who's likely going to come out at some point to help Matt Hardy. And the Dark Order turn on Adam Page and side with Matt Hardy, and it's revealed that the new leader of the Dark Order is Matt Hardy. And now, remember this. Remember this, though. Remember, I'm almost done. Remember this. Who was supposed to be the original leader before Brody Lee? It was supposed to be Matt Hardy. And so like my thing is, it's just there's a lot here that connects, and what it does on top, it gives Adam Page more, like it just distances himself from his friends even more, and it makes and like kind of pits him against an entire machine in the Dark Order, and this gives him like months of potential matches and feuds that he can go through. He can fight he can go through the entire Dark Order to get back at Matt Hardy. I think there's a lot you can do there.
A great scenario. I honestly, it makes a lot of sense because I was kind of thinking that way too. But the only flaw I find there is the fact that the Dark Order has become a face.
Right.
And that's the only thing that I've seen, because with -1 being the so quote unquote unspoke about head of the Dark Order, then Brody Lee also passing away and things like that. Now they become a more of a face. Now, if they take that route, which makes a lot of sense, And I forgot, actually, till you mentioned it, that Matt was supposed to be the leader. Now, if they take that route, the biggest faction in wrestling will be probably the Dark Order.
Right.
Like just because of that. But like you said, it sends Adam Page over the top.
Right. And
but
like
he's not going to join the All Elite again either. So like, how does he fight? He can't fight by himself.
Well, I mean, look, Adam Page is kind of like I know I talked about Jungle Boy Jack, but Adam Page is like I think for like the present, he's the guy who you want to build to be the guy, because like from day one, it's always been like they're trying to build up Adam Page to be the face of AEW, and like he deserves it. The dude's like one of the best workers in the world, and I think his gimmick is awesome, and like he just consistently has good matches. But like the reason that I think that this could work, potentially turning the Dark Order heel and having Matt Hardy, is because I think. Like obviously we love the Dark Order because Brody Lee passed away, and like we shouldn't shy away from saying that. Like that's the main reason they're face. Before that they were heel, but the gimmick of the Dark Order, it just like it becomes meaningless though if they kind of just trot out there every week and our faces and just do like just kind of do like face things and then be nice. Like that's not what the Dark Order does. And like it works obviously when you're mourning the loss of their leader, but at some point they have to move on and find a new leader. And I think Matt Hardy, just in my opinion, with what he's building, and he's it's not the first time we've seen him do like these kind of like weird gimmicks. Like even he's wearing a suit right there. Like we have not seen Matt Hardy wear a suit since version 1. Matt, I did that wrong, but
oh yeah.
Yeah, I can slap a tornado. That's wild. He can slap a tornado. Put that man on top. But no, like I'm interested, obviously, and I think that this would give the Dark Order 2 like something amazing to do, and it would kind of be put Adam Page in a position where it's him against the world. It would he would have to, and like he could be the guy who takes down the entire Dark Order. Like this could be a story you could do for like the next 6 months leading into like Full Gear 2021 fantasy booking, and it would work. And you could do it because it means something. Because his friends, who were the only people who came to his rescue, turned on him, and he has to fight him now. So makes sense. We'll see. Again, dude, something's on the line. Matt Hardy's involved. Adam Page is gold. I cannot wait.
But could you imagine if the exact opposite happens and he becomes the leader of the Dark Order and he goes at Kenny Omega's championship after that?
Dude,
with the Dark Order behind him? That would be another good scenario as well. But I actually hope it's more of what you said, honestly. Because I think it's more.
Yo, bro, brown people are amazing at booking, bro. Like it's in our blood. Tony Khan, me, we know, we're hip. We know what we know. It's like that. Where you remember when Vince McMahon, in like 2006, he was feuding with DX. He cut a promo and he's like, "You don't like what you like." You like what I tell you like.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing, bro. I'm like, dude, just let me write TV. just let me write TV.
People are awesome. Let's put it out there.
No, yeah, but I can't wait. Again, I can't wait.
Yeah. It's gonna be good.
Right. Yeah. All right. Trevor, we ran through almost the entire card. We're at our last match here, and it is a whopper. This Sunday let me restart. This Sunday at AEW Revolution, Jon Moxley will be taking on the AEW World Champion Kenny Omega in a barbed wire So let me redo that whole thing. Hold up. Gotta get it ready for get it right for the clip, right? You know what I'm saying? When I clip this,
technical difficulties, it happens.
Yeah. We've been going for so long. I'm getting a little antsy. It's okay. Let's finish it up strong.
There you go.
Let's go. This Sunday at AEW Revolution, Jon Moxley will be taking on the current reigning defending AEW World Champion Kenny Omega in an exploding barbed wire death match, a callback to the mid-90s of FMW and IWA in Japan. The death match is one of the most feared matches in wrestling history. There's barbed wire going to be wrapped around the rings to replace the rope. There's going to be explosives set up at the side of the rings, and they're going to blast off every 5 minutes or whatever. There's going to be mayhem all over. We saw Kenny Omega constructing some sort of ghastly monstrosity that he called the John Moxley Eliminator or something. This is going to be insane. And it's looking like it's going to be just a hard-nosed death match. Like I don't know if you've ever seen the FMW King of the Death match that had Mick Foley, Terry Funk, and all those guys, but those are some wild, insane matches. And they weren't even doing it for a large amount of audience. AEW's probably going to go far with this. But Trevor, you tell me, man. An exploding barbed wire death match. What are you looking forward to, bro?
Yo, I haven't heard one of these in a while. It's since Cactus Jack and guys like that. You mentioned a lot of promotions. You did not mention CZW. CZW has done for years the Tournament of Death, which was a lot of times done out of the owner's parents' backyard, believe it or not. And who did I see out of maybe the 3 times that I went to that match? The gentleman right there on the screen, John Moxley. So, I mean, this is up to both their alleys. You know what I mean? Kenny's done a lot of risque matches as well, and so is John Moxley. This can be a great match, or it can be one of those that's going to be hard to watch. And not because, I mean, it's going to be hard to watch either way, but I mean, not because either one doesn't complement the other. I mean, they both complement each other. This is one of those matches where you have 2 people that complement each other's skills. You have the brawler / technical wrestler in John Moxley. You have the brash high flyer / technical wrestler / just arrogant as fuck Kenny Omega. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be great. I love, like I said last week, I love this version of Kenny. I love the cleaner. I've always loved the cleaner, but I also love this level of John Moxley. This is CZW indie promotion John Moxley, and I think it's gonna be a great match. I think it's gonna be an amazing match, and I can't wait to watch.
Right, and you mentioned it. We've talked about how, or it's been talked about how John Moxley for the past decade, he's the king of the death match. That's what they've said repeatedly. Is kind of even in WWE they made callbacks to it. So I feel like he's been called this, and people have been saying this for years, but we've never seen him on a massive scale, on this big a stage, have a match of this caliber. And this is a chance for John Moxley to prove that he is indeed the king of the death match. This is a chance for them to do that. This is a chance for Omega to prove that he's not just another pretty face. He's not just another arrogant heel champion, that he is willing to go places that no arrogant heel has ever gone to before. This is a chance for them to do something insanely magnificent. And if their match at Full Gear 2019 is any indication of what this might be like if you added exploding barbed wire to that, I would I don't know what I would do, but I would definitely be entertained. But look, these guys have built this up as a blood feud for the past few weeks, and I think they've done it right. And this has been one of the main storylines, one of the main feuds in the history of AEW in their short history. So I think it's fitting, if this is the end, that it end in a barbed wire exploding death match. And look, worst case, this is gonna sell some people on the pay-per-view. There are people who don't know what an exploding barbed wire death match is, yeah. and they're gonna be like, oh well, that's a thing that I want to watch. You know,
I didn't know about this. I didn't know this existed.
This was not in WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2004. But like I said, I'm excited. I think that in the end, I think Omega will probably end up winning, and there's a few reasons for that. I think one is I think John Moxley, like he's kind of gotten to the point where I don't think he needs the title necessarily now in his feuds going forward. I think he can kind of, like, he obviously helped build up the title and legitimize it, and it also helped build him up, which is exactly what you want out of a world title reign. But I think he can probably do the Chris Jericho route where like he can go off and have different feuds and potentially, like again, there's a whole roster for him to go and have matches with that I would love to see him have matches with. But with Omega, I think it's more important right now that you keep the belt on him, because what they're doing is they're building Omega to be the belt collector. He's the AAA champion right now. He's obviously having feuds in New Japan. I think he's having a feud for the Intercontinental Championship there. Might be wrong, but Omega is also like reigning AEW champion. TNA or Impacts are
as well, too, right?
What's up?
AAA as well, right?
Yeah, AAA, he's a champion. I said that. But TNA, I said it again. Impact, he's got a little bit of a feud with Rich Swann, who was the champion right now. So there's there's a chance for them to do that belt collector gimmick. He just goes to all the indies, all these other big promotions,
Does he still have one in New Japan or no?
I'm not sure actually. I don't remember, but I do remember he made an appearance at Wrestle Kingdom. So
yeah, I know he did.
So I mean, look, but I'm just saying, like I think right now Omega is just too important overall to this whole talent exchange they're doing with all these different companies. I think he kind of helped open the door, especially with New Japan, and given his relationship with people there, and given the fact that I think like with him as champion, they kind of feel like they know what they're getting. Yeah. So I think that Omega's won his relationship too. Like just the gimmick of Omega right now. Like I don't think you drop the belt after one match or whatever. I think that this is kind of a thing they're gonna build out for the long term. And look, in my opinion, like I said, I think this is building up to a match at potentially maybe All Out, maybe Revolution next year with Adam Page. I think at the end of the day, this Kenny Omega
I think that's where it goes. I honestly agree with you.
Yeah, this Kenny Omega, his downfall will be his ex-tag team partner, the Hangman Adam Page, who has been on a quest, remember, since the first All Out to regain that position to be the number one contender for the AEW Championship. When he lost to Chris Jericho, he hasn't had another match for the title yet, and a lot of people said he should. So that's what I think is going to happen. I mean, again, I'm just a mark. I think
that's the best thing. I mean, so one of the reasons I don't think John will win the title is because of the fact that he's about to be a dad. So from what some of the things I've read, that this is supposed to be his exit for a few months. So he can go be a dad to his kid, and be husband to his wife. And I think that's the route they're going to take, honestly. But like you said, I think it's all setting up for Adam Page. Because, I mean, remember, Moxley is also a champion at this moment, too, in Japan. He just defended his championship not too long ago. In an amazing match, by the way. I don't know if you saw it, but it was an amazing match. But, yeah, so I think it's just one of those things where, like, Kenny is the hot commodity at the moment. And, of course, John has great heat. He's a great seller. He's a good wrestler. And that match is going to be absolutely amazing. But at the end of the day, what I want to see, and I'm sure a lot of other people want to see, is Adam Page versus Kenny Omega for that belt. So I honestly think that this pay-per-view is going to lead up to that.
Dude, agreed. Like, we just ran through the card, and literally every match has me, like, just ready. I wish it was tomorrow night. I'm like, this is the thing. I'm sad that it's on a Sunday night, not a Saturday. I'm
watching it at home, or are you going out to watch it?
Yeah. What's up?
You watching it at home, or are you going out to watch it?
No, I'm gonna watch it at home. But like, this is just like literally every match has something on the line. Every match means something, and every match has people that I'm excited to see like perform. This is everything you want to see out of a wrestling show from top to bottom. And the only downside that this could happen is just fatigue. Like because and we'll see, because they have to find a way to, like, you know, kind of you time out the card, I guess, and like kind of like, you know, time out like the big spots of these matches. But this is just gearing up to be an insane pay-per-view. Like this is like, just like, look, I'm not even gonna, like, no cap whatsoever. Just reading this card off, like, ever since I've been a wrestling fan, which is like 2003, reading a card going into a pay-per-view, I think this is like the best card I've ever seen. Like, and like
it definitely is. I mean, it's one of the best. So I'm a little older. I've been a wrestling fan for
a little.
I've been a wrestling fan for quite a long time, and like out of all the, like I mentioned Survivor Series 8, which was an amazing card. This card is like outstanding. Like you said, I honestly believe they're gonna run out of wind before we stop watching because we're not interested. I think they're really gonna need a second breath, because this is just such a great card. Like, and every performer that's in any of these matches, they perform, they work, they're great workers. Isn't one match that I honestly believe doesn't have a great worker in it. So, like, this is going to be a good one. This is definitely going to be a good one. And this might be, now, I mean, I know it's too early to say, but this might be one of the top pay-per-views of the year.
Just might be one of the best top pay-per-views of all time. I've said before. Come on, old man. You gotta learn technology. Come on. Yeah, back in my day, Hulk Hogan.
We didn't have this technology.
We didn't have this technology. I had the tape trade, and I was taping floppy disks, and
you know, it's the new mic, and the mic hits buttons. So yeah.
Oh, I got you. Nah, it's cool. We'll get you situated with your tech for next week. Don't worry. But yeah, no, this is gonna be insane. I am excited. Like people I know who haven't watched wrestling too. Like I've been texting with some old friends who are just like, yeah, dude, I heard exploding barbed wire death match, and I'm just like,
right.
This shit sells. Shit sells. Like,
my brother, he hasn't watched wrestling in quite a long time. My brother's a huge wrestling fan. I haven't watched wrestling in like years. And we were talking the other day, and he was like, I was mentioning about AEW. He was like, exploding barbed wire wrestling match. Oh,
Nani?
Are you coming? You coming over? I'm getting.
He's like, I'm dude with John Moxley. Oh, okay. I'm excited to see it. I like, again, I wish this was actually a show that they would do like out in the Jaguar Stadium. That, because I feel like that. Yeah. Because you fit more people, and I know like they're obviously trying to like limit people, but at the same time, I feel like you could space them out more, and it would have more of a big show feel. Because I like the shows they've done in Jacksonville, but at the same time, I'm like, you are kind of craving, like, you know, a little bit of a change in ambiance. You're just like you know, I feel like it would be good to change it up a little bit, maybe for one show, and maybe they'll do it from, like, you know, going forward, because like the Jags obviously aren't going to play there until like August, right? So maybe so there's some time. Well, you know, he owns the goddamn team. Motherfucker, you own the team, just do it.
Talk to your boy Tony.
Goddamn, dude. I will see him at prayer. I will let him know. But yeah, we'll see if I can get a hand. If I can get a hand on Tony Khan, I will. I'll actually have him on the show. I don't know if I will be able to. We'll see. I doubt I will.
That would be great if it ever happens.
They'll be like, hey, bro, our dads are from the same place. He'll be like, okay, so
what does that mean? I don't.
He's like, I'm a billionaire. He's like, and I'm. Are
you getting paid? No, okay, I can't be.
It's like, but sir, you can pay me to propagate AEW. Like, let me show you some of my work. Show a link in this podcast. But oh man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Trev, anything else you want to talk about today?
Oh man, I think we covered everything.
Literally.
A dumpster fire of WWE. What's up, man?
I mean, well,
Besides,
Real quickly. Okay, I need to get this off my chest. Motherfucker, what they're doing to Daniel Bryan right now is a fucking travesty.
Oh, it's
criminal what they're doing to Daniel Bryan right now. Cutting the best promos on SmackDown, cutting the best promos on Talking Smack, having the best matches on the goddamn show, having the best matches for the past 20 years on SmackDown or 10 years, whatever he's been. They don't get it. They don't get it.
They don't understand.
He is. Daniel Bryan is above, far and above the best, overall performer in WWE. If we're talking, on the mic, in the ring, all that combined. Outstanding wrestler. I think that's what that kind of means, right? Outstanding wrestler. It's Daniel Bryan.
He's better than Adam Cole and Finn Balor?
Yeah.
Now, on the mic, I agree with you.
On the mic and in the ring. Dude, no, in the ring.
I don't know. I think when they said Adam Cole was the top recruit that year, he was. I mean, he definitely was.
Yeah, I'm not arguing he wasn't the top recruit. I'm just saying, I personally just think Bryan is a better worker.
So you think this year or his overall work in general?
I mean, we've seen Adam Cole in more high profile matches. So this year, obviously, is Adam Cole, but. What has Bryan done in the past year that we've seen? Because he has been. This thing they've never known how to book him.
Pushed though, you're right. He hasn't been pushed at all.
Yeah, they don't know. Last year he wrestled Tony Nese at WrestleMania or something, or what's his name? Drew Gulak or something.
Something stupid.
They had him doing some hanky panky shit going into
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
He had an Intercontinental Championship, but he.
It just doesn't mean as much. That's one name, dude. Hey, if this, I know it's impossible because he's still under contract. It's impossible. But if there's any time for Tony Khan to pay off a lawsuit to WWE, it would be this, man. I'm telling you, if it's not gonna happen, obviously. But if Daniel Bryan walks down that ramp at AEW Revolution, I will be so excited. I will take the clippers from the bathroom and shave my head. son, I was like, yes. Yeah, I will mark out.
One thing I wanted to mention earlier, you mentioned Brock Lesnar. So Brock Lesnar isn't currently signed to WWE. They actually took a lot of his merchandise off of the stands, last August, I believe. So he might be a free agent. So we'll see.
We'll see, man. Hey, dude, if Lesnar shows up at Revolution, it'll still be exciting.
Yeah.
The thing is, I just don't know if it will end up living up to the hype. I feel like if he does show up, it's gonna end up being one of those things. Remember when Vince at WrestleMania 17 or X7 shook Austin's hand? It was a great moment. If that moment in a vacuum was one of the best moments in wrestling history. You're just wild, shocked, right? But the aftermath though is kind of just oh well, okay, this is it just didn't work. I just don't see it working, in AEW because there's just I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited either way. Revolution's gonna be a great show. Trev, any parting words?
Thanks for having me on again.
Oh, bro, as always, man. We're getting some chemistry together. We're doing this. I'm bringing in the brown wrestling knowledge. You're out there bringing in the back in my day. Harley Race was 20 years old, and he was wrestling in a broken down bingo. But douchebag Dave Bautista at WrestleMania. I quit. Oh, we love Dave. Anyway, thank you, Trev, for joining me. We'll have you on again probably at some point to break down the aftermath of Revolution because we have to do that.
That's going to be interesting.
That's going to be interesting. Thank you guys who watched. And remember to subscribe, like, share, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. This has been Real Take, Wrestle Talk. Peace out.